What's up, fam? I'm here with Michael Bafundo,
Hey there.
a member of West End Blend and Booyah, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So, how'd you get into both of those bands?
I got in West End Blend first. I went to school in Manhattan. I went to Manhattan School of Music for my undergrad. Then I went to grad school at Columbia and finished up. I was like in a weird in between a gap year I graduated, and one was about to start the other. And I came back to Hartford for a year and met the dudes at University of Hartford at the Hart School of Music. I would go over there and kind of like play with the big band and play with the combos over there. And I knew Mundy, the trombone player from like high school,
Uh,
and he introduced me to everyone in the band. Said we just started a funk band. We needed a trumpet player, so I showed up, and people were awesome. They were great musicians and great dudes, and so I joined the band. And 10 years later, here we are.
nice, that's awesome.
Like Booyah kind of started as an offshoot of that, of like uh, our little side project. Like Erica has her project with the new Mosaic with like Tom, the bass player, who's also her husband, and it's kind of like our side project, our little heart. It started just as a Wednesday night thing, and it's still really like the at the heart of it. What it is about our Wednesdays in Hartford at Arch Street Tavern, and just kind of evolved from there. And really isn't a band. What wasn't really a band for a while. Now we're kind of like a band, I would say.
Nice. You
But,
guys do like every Wednesday, right?
yeah, every Wednesday we do a different theme, like a completely different genre. What did we do yesterday or 2 days ago? We did '80s night, which was dope. That was fun. I was trying. My buddies are in Too Many Zoos. They were in town and they came out, Leo and Matt, but they didn't have their horns on them, unfortunately. But that would have been cool.
Oh
But
man, that's too bad.
yeah, that would have been fun.
Yeah.
But week before that was like 2000s pop punk night. We did like Blink, and
Oh, that sounds great.
my pick was Welcome to the Black Parade.
Classic,
Yeah,
classic.
teenage angst.
That's
We
awesome.
did, God, Zeppelin the week before that, like P Funk, Grateful Dead, Pink Floyd. It's just every week it's an opportunity for us to do something completely different. I mean, we've
That's
done a
cool.
bunch, like, cycle through, learn new songs, get deeper in the repertoire. Like even the ones that we do a lot, we always like cycle through and like try to go for deep cuts and things that we usually think we couldn't do the first time. That we're like, all right, let's give it a shot this time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a fun
So,
time.
you played with Mahali a few weeks ago in
Yeah.
Fairfield. That was you guys killed it that night. I was there.
Nice. Yeah, that was really fun. I fucking love Mahali. Dude's a man. And getting to play with him was great. I love it. We're doing the December 15th show up in Higher Ground with him, and then
Oh,
hopefully more.
nice.
Like the talk is to hopefully, or what I've heard is to move it more towards like the band with horns full time. Try to like transition into that phase. Like he started solo and like he kind of wanted to like build his band little by little and kind of have us be the little cherry on top with
That's
me and
awesome.
Mike Omen on sax. Fucking homie. But yeah,
Nice. And so like I know you've played with One Time Weekend, and did you play with Pigeons at the Stop Making Cake tour?
I did.
All right, I
I
thought
did.
I
We
thought
did.
so.
Yeah, we did the New Haven and the New York show.
Yeah,
Yeah, place
those are
station.
both great shows.
That was really those were fun. That's with me and Mundy, the trombone player. Like we would do those shows. We did. Oh God, we did a bunch. We did their like New Year's in Pittsburgh. It was really fun. Capitol Theater show was awesome.
Oh yeah, the
Like
two night run at the
Fest.
Cap last year.
That was. Oh no, it was like it's funny actually. That was when Goose opened up for them.
Oh wow.
Like 2019, I want to say.
Oh, yeah, that's been a
Oh no,
while.
no, wait, no, 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 no. I'm sorry. That was Magic Beans open for them that night. My bad. But yeah, that
Oh,
was like 2018, 2017 around then. I want to say, but yeah,
oh, word.
yeah. But those dudes also are those are fucking homies. Alex is my guy. It's funny. Just talking the other night about like Alex is the Gator. I call him Alex.
Yeah.
He's always Alex to me. But it's funny. Like the day I met him, I was in college, and it was the day I met a lot of people. I met a friend of mine, Thai guy, who runs Inner Circle or Outer Circle and Your Parents and does a lot of EDM shows now. But bunch of friends, just random friends I met, and that was like coming back to Hartford at University of Hartford. Like whenever I'd come back to Hartford, I feel like when I was in college in New York, I still have like friends in New York I made, and awesome musician friends that are like still. But I find myself now, like when I would come back home, I'd make these like really cool friendships that I didn't think at the moment would be anything, but turned into like incredible, long-lasting like friendships and musical partnerships, and yeah, it's cool. So I met Alex. I was playing in someone's. It was a friend of ours, Ari. He had a little acid test he was throwing, and we all, took some things and whatever, and fucking. I remember playing, and when I would play, like I'd play my trumpet louder, and my trumpet would go louder. There were these Christmas tree lights wrapped around my mic stand, would go brighter and brighter. And I was just playing at one point, just ring, ring, just trying to make the lights glow.
That's
It was.
awesome.
I'm sure it sounded like horseshit, but it was really fun at the moment. But
Yeah.
that's when I met Alex. He took a djembe and went in this like the square, like in the dorms, and I was like, we were chilling, like we had taken a break from playing. I hear, I was like, what the fuck is that? I'm like scared out of my mind. I'm like, oh yeah, that's Alex. Yeah, yeah. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. But yeah,
Yeah, I ran into Jeremy at Peach Fest. I'd never met any of them before. Super nice guy.
they're all really nice
Yeah.
guys. Greg's a man. Ben, fucking love that guy. He gave me his hat
Yeah.
actually from the.
What?
He gave me the hat from the night in College Street when they played the Who Fighters.
Oh, really? That's
Like
awesome.
marching band. Actually, hold on 1 second. BRB.
Yeah, take your time.
Tell a joke or something. I don't know.
Gives me some time to hydrate.
Yeah, he gave me this dope ass hat. He asked if I wanted a hat, and I wasn't gonna say no to a free hat. I didn't really want it, but someone spray painted it blue. I believe it's a marching band hat, but it kind of fits, I guess. It's just not me, but I'm not gonna look a gift in the mouth and say no. It's not nice.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
But yeah, man, it's
So,
been going good.
so you played with one time for what was that, the Revenge of the Sixth show they did?
Yeah, the Star Wars thing, that was cool.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun that night.
Yeah, that was really fun. Yeah, just like even like practicing the music. Like sometimes you like get a song for like whatever gig it is, and you're just like, okay, cool. You look at it as like you don't know the music, you don't know what it is. You just kind of play it. It's like cool, but Star Wars is just gonna make it more fun. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's
Yeah.
Star Wars, it's just gonna kick it up a notch, and yeah, thoroughly enjoyable.
So, do you have a favorite artist that you've played with, or?
Favorite artists that I've played with. I mean, I love Dopapod. That's probably my favorite band. I'd say like in the circuit of bands, whatever you want to call them, jam bands, festival bands, that
Yeah,
aren't like that stadium level.
yeah,
Um, yeah, dope. I fucking love Dopapod.
yeah. Dope
Those
Pod
guys,
is
those guys are great. We would do the Dopapod orchestra shows for like Peach Fest and God, Burlington. Yeah, we had a few other shows, but those were really fun. And like writing those parts were like super crazy. Like we would just be there. It would be the four of us. Me, Mundy, the trombone player in West End Blend, Mike Oman, the sax player for Mahali's for that we're doing with Mahali's, and his wife Vicky. And we would like have these like 6 hour sessions of like writing Dopapod songs, and like they're so crazy and fucking complex where you're just like, all right, cool. Just like, we're just going to cop that line and just fucking go for it and just put some harmonies and little call and response shit and just get as weird as we want. And it was fun. It was that whole writing process. And then like getting it together with them and locking it in was really cool.
nice. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
How long you been playing trumpet for?
Oh, shit. 22 years now.
Oh
I
wow.
started when I was 10, so yeah. Yeah.
Nice. What
Yeah.
what made you get into it?
My dad played trumpet, and we actually had this trumpet actually laying around the house, and picked it up, played it. I wanted to be a drummer, but my parents didn't want to buy drums.
Yeah.
They're like, no, no, you want to be a trumpet player. I'm like, okay, I want to be a trumpet player. And yeah, but then got into it like that, and I started going to like a program called the Artist Collective when I was in like middle school, run by Jackie McLean, who played like Miles Davis and Oprah, like would play with Charlie Parker and shit like that. But incredible teacher, incredible musician, and then yeah, from then on, just kept studying jazz. I wanted to be a jazz player. Then realized I didn't want to be a jazz player. I love jazz, but I have a lot of friends that play jazz, but just kind of like when I would go to jazz shows or play jazz shows, you sit down and everyone there is kind of judgy, and like a lot of times I feel like at least half the people in the room are musicians themselves, thinking they can be playing better than you if they were up there, and
Mm.
it's not a really fun environment. And then like we're like going to like jazz jams or open mics or that, where like it's like play the head of the song, play the melody, and then like all right, trade around solos, and like it's just like 8 horn players. And by the time you get to like the fifth saxophone player, and like they're playing for like 2 minutes each, I feel bad for the drummer and the bass player because they're just like kind of chilling. They're just like, ah, fuck, like you're not even like making music at that point. You're just kind of like providing like a backing track for someone to kind of just like. And I'm not saying everyone does it, but just saying I've seen this happen many times at like Fat Cat or like Smalls, like in New York City, where like it's 2 a.m. and like by the seventh person, everyone is just going for it hard as they can. And you can only do that for so long, and the drummer is just kind of like, fuck, damn, all right, here we go. Along for the ride. And it's not really like music. It's not really like kind of something that's being made for like enjoyment for everybody. It's like everyone gets their time to like show, like do what they can do, and it's just not as enjoyable as like creating and still improvising and making people dance, and people are there just have a good time and just not judging.
Yeah, it's a judgment. Like I played drums a little bit in high school, like for like the band class. And, like I wasn't very good, and the hate that I got from the other kids in class was insane.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
drummers,
everything,
man.
like every time something went wrong, it was always my fault. So then they just put me on triangle my senior year because they're just like, you
Oh,
can't fuck this one up. And I
you
was
don't
just
hit on triangles. Very important, man.
like,
I mean, think of all the famous triangle players out there. They're out there.
are there?
Nah, no, they're not out there. I'm just trying to make you feel better. I'm sorry, man.
No, it's okay. I was really just in the class for an easy A and just to mess with the teacher because it was fun to mess with him.
Yeah, I'm a teacher.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. Middle school. Well, I'm like right now. I've been doing a long term sub, but I've been there since February last year. So I'm doing like the concerts for chorus in middle school, general music, 5th through 8th grade. Which
Okay.
that's fun. I love it. I
Is
love it.
it?
I love getting to teach kids like the cool shit I learned, or like the cool shit like I wish I learned when I was their age, or like it's yeah. And I teach them about James Brown. I have a whole lesson on James Brown, or like I teach them about how the one is important. But I also show them like how like James Brown started sampling and became like hip hop, like the funky drummer break, and actually use like there's a YouTube video of like the Powerpuff Girls theme song, and if you slow down the Powerpuff Girls drum track, it's the funky drummer track.
Oh, really?
It's a sample. Yeah, it's the funky drummer sample. It's the funky drummer. So without James Brown, there would be no Powerpuff Girls theme song.
Oh,
So
wow. That's awesome.
yeah, you gotta throw them little attention grabbers. But yeah,
So, you got anything like upcoming projects or anything, or?
yeah. The big show is December 16th at Infinity Hall, Hartford. That's our West End Blend 10-year anniversary show.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, right now that's the only show we have announced. We'll announce more after it, but that's like kind of our building that up at Infinity Hall, which is a really cool venue. I just saw the Disco Biscuits there 2 nights last week. That was
Yeah, I heard those. I heard those shows were great.
it was fucking wild, man. Like I've only seen the Biscuits like at a festival. I've never been to their shows, and The shows were awesome. The first night was completely overtaken by nitrous by set break in the patio. Apparently they'd set up tanks like right by the patio, and
Oh
it looked
god,
like the fucking circus. I felt bad because Jesse, our guitarist, manages that, and like Jesse, I was like standing by him. I'm like, I mean, you booked them, like it's like yeah, they said to expect nitrous, but holy shit, we can't do this again. He's like, as long as there's no fight, no problems, everything was fine. We'll let it be as it is tonight. But like Friday, they were like, they set up barricades and put up posters like no balloons. Like we can't do that shit again. That was like ridiculous. Because we've seen like Infinity Hall is in like downtown Hartford, and like we've seen it with like Frasco. There was a couple tanks. Like Lettuce, there'd be a couple tanks. And it's usually just like a couple tanks, like they're across the street or they're in the parking garage, and the venue's just like whatever, it's not, it's not their job to like if people are doing that outside of the building, it's not their job to whatever.
yeah.
But literally, people were just standing in the patio with balloons in their heads. Like a few people tried to go inside the venue, they're like, no, 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 you can't. But it was a fucking circus. It was
I
hilarious.
remember at the Pigeons Brooklyn show this past April, they I brought some friends who had never been to a show that would have tanks afterwards. Like they'd never been to like any sort of jam band show. Like they're just like frat bros from like Delaware, and like a kid I grew up with. And me and some buddies took them to see Pigeons, and like we all dosed. And then after the show, like we walk out, and it was like, have you ever been to Brooklyn Steel?
I haven't actually.
So like when you walk out, you're almost like in like an alley. Like the street like isn't really that usable, and the entire like area, like that block was just it was the most tanks I've ever seen in such a confined space. And then like they were like comparing it to like the stock market, like the stock
Oh
exchange.
God.
Going one round and shit.
Yeah.
And like one of them looked at me, he was like, "Dude, is it like this every time?" And I was like, "I've never seen this before. Like I've been on like Dead and Co lots and stuff where there's tanks scattered throughout the whole
Yeah,
place.
yeah, that's what it was too. Because like I feel like like when it happened at like a cup last week, that was usually for a show, say at like Xfinity, like not saying that they were playing there, but the mount would be compatible for like the Xfinity Center here, where you would have like 6 or 7 tanks, or not I don't know, but not 6 tanks, 7 tanks, like around that tiny little area, just turned into like everyone walking around with balloons, and I'm standing there with like Jesse, and I'm just like, I mean, you booked him, you chose this, and he was like, it was fine, but they're like, but the second night it was cool. Second night was way more tame. It wasn't as wild, but it was funny. Like the first night was a Thursday, and like the few of the restaurants around weren't too happy with them. But so we're going to be there December 16th. But it's that's our 10-year anniversary of that show, and
Oh, that's awesome.
super pumped. We're going to have like friends that like used to be in the band, like Mike and Vic, his wife Vicky, are going to come back and play in some songs, and yeah, it's going to be a really cool reunion.
Oh, that's awesome.
That, and I don't know if I can say or not, but it's looking like I'm going to be playing Capitol Theater the Friday after Thanksgiving with Twiddle, with me and Mike.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, and I'm fucking
That'll be
stoked.
great. I'm real looking forward to Friendsgiving. That should be it's one of my favorite weekends of the year.
Yeah, me too. I actually no, actually haven't been there. I was thinking of Friendly Gathering, but I miss Friendly Gathering.
I never got a chance to go to that. It always like I've seen videos from it. It looked incredible.
We played it. I want to say twice. I think we played it twice, but I remember one year we played, and I think that was the first time I've seen Twiddle before that, but I hadn't seen Twiddle in like years, and I saw them at Friendly, and I was chilling on the deck of like the VIP, and it was fucking downpouring rain, and they came out to like the Undertaker theme song. And I love wrestling, and I'm just like, that's fucking awesome. Like it was like downpouring, and you just hear dong, like purple lights. It's like yes. My inner WWE mark just went off.
Yeah, I think Friendsgiving the first night is gonna be my 35th total show now.
Oh wow, hell yeah! I've seen them. God, I want to say like a total 11 11, 12 times, somewhere around there. Um, Usually when I'm playing, but I've gone to a few other shows, not, and yeah, I love their music. I love those dudes. They're like really
Yeah,
nice guys, and yeah, they're fucking great.
yeah. I'm hoping to I'm supposed to actually at Friendsgiving get Herm on the podcast, the lighting guy.
Oh hell yeah,
Yeah,
word,
yeah.
nice,
I've hung out with him a couple times. He's always a good time.
yeah.
We went out for Dempsey's birthday this past year. They did that 3 night run at Brooklyn Bowl, and so like the first night, like we kind of hung out on the street with like Dempsey and his wife and some other people for a while, and then the next night, like we were talking to Gubb and Mahali for a bit, and then Dempsey and Scott and Adrian and Herm, and one of Dempsey's buddies from growing up, I guess it was. They were like saw like me and my friends because they know us kind of well by now, and they asked if they were saying they're going to a bar like a couple blocks away, and asked if we wanted to go. So we ended up going to a barcade.
Oh cool, yeah.
Yeah, because I guess Scott was like really excited. He loves the arcade
He
game.
is that dude loves video games. He like makes he's made his own a couple video games. I want to
Oh
say.
wow!
But he would play shows. It was called Scott Hene Plays Video Games, where he would like set the keyboard up and kind of like have like the tracks and like how it be synced up to. It was really fucking cool.
Oh wow!
Yeah, but no, that dude like people say like, oh, I love video games. Like, no, this dude fucking loves video games. Like, you don't get it. This fucking guy loves video games.
I can just picture him with like a ton of like all the old gaming systems and stuff, just like multiple TVs.
Oh yeah, no, he like that's what he does. You pictured correctly, my friend. But
Yeah,
yeah.
'cause I didn't know who he was at first. In like when I first like saw him at a when Mahali played uh Garcia's last winter, and I like kind of recognized him, and he was like on the keys, and I was like, why do I recognize this guy? And then like at like whatever the next Twiddle show I went to, I saw him, and I was just like, oh wait a minute, I was like he does stuff for these guys.
Yeah, well, he tours on the road with he does like crew work, a lot of tech work on the
Yeah.
road for Twiddle, and then yeah, he plays keys with Mahali's band. But what was it? Was like the first show I think he actually played with Twiddle because Dempsey couldn't make it. I think
Oh yeah,
he had some flight issues and shit. So
yeah,
Scott stepped up, and I heard he crushed it. But
yeah. I mean, they bring him out on stage like at a lot of different shows now I've seen, and he's always great.
he's a killer keyboardist. That
Yeah,
dude.
he is.
Yeah.
I feel bad that I love Adrian so much. I feel like I'm like betraying Brooke, but Adrian's been really killing it with Twiddle lately too.
I didn't really get a chance to know Brooke. Or I didn't meet him. I met him a few times, like played with him a couple times, but I didn't unfortunately know him as well. But he was a great drummer. And dude, fucking
Yeah,
a great voice too. But and nothing against anything, but I just fucking love Adrian. Like I don't even Sam, our drummer here, grew up listening to Adrian. Like took like everyone in Connecticut. I feel like everyone my age in Connecticut who's a musician like looked at like the Kung Fu dudes and like the Black Rock dudes or
yeah,
fucking Tim and Chris and oh god, fucking all of them, Rob and fucking they were like the dudes. Like they were like that band is like the fucking group of musicians that like fucking slay. And Adrian is just kind of like I'm so glad he fucking joined that band because that dude deserves to fucking be playing at a level like
yeah,
recognition of that, and he really has kind of. I just think they're a different band. They're a completely different band with Adrian, and
yeah.
Adrian slaps.
I feel like him and Gubb have like a really good chemistry on stage.
I didn't realize how good of a bass player Gubb was until I saw him play at the Levitt Pavilion. And I was like, "Holy shit, dude! You're like doing triple slaps and shit." Like, I didn't realize that. Like, I had no idea how good he was until I saw that show.
Yeah, I remember. I always loved him, but the night that like really solidified like how much I realized like Gubb was like wild on the bass was uh Paradise Rock Club 2019, then December 30th, the night before New Year's.
Is that show on Spotify?
No, the year before. The year before.
Gotcha. That was the House of
Yeah,
Blues. Right, right.
because
Okay.
they did Paradise Rock Club and House of Blues 2 years in a row, the same dates.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
Wrong Boston club.
but the 2019 Paradise Rock Club was like I was at one point like just like I ate a bigger dose than I normally would have just because I was like fuck it, let's see what happens. And like one point like Gub started doing something crazy. I don't even remember what it was, and I just had to like sit down and hold myself and be like, oh my god, like it was just like
That
absolutely
little
destroying
puddle
me.
there, buddy.
Oh yeah.
Careful, man. Yeah, well, I always feel like I'm working, like when I'm playing. You know, I would psychedelics are something I enjoy, and
Yeah,
I haven't in a while, and for reasons of working in a
yeah.
position. It's been a while.
Yeah, I keep it to very small amounts now, just because I'm just like
Yeah.
I don't know. I did it a lot when I was younger, and I'm just like, all right, I can just I don't need to be like unable to speak.
I feel like it's definitely a thing where, like, musically, it definitely opens up doorways that you wouldn't think would. It's just like it's kind of like looking at a room from a different perspective. Like I always kind of
Yeah,
like it. And playing music, likely, I feel I'm glad that it's definitely I got to experience that and do that and kind of learn from it. Just not even just not rely on it, but be like, oh, that's also a possibility I wouldn't think of before that, or kind of even playing like with other people. Like I remember years ago, I was playing with we were playing at Trinity. This was like when I was still this is like the second, third year of like being in West End Blend. So this was like I was still in grad school, and we were playing at Trinity University, and it was like their spring fling, their spring weekend thing, and it rained, so they moved it indoors to the auditorium, and we were opening for this band. Oh shit! It was Real Estate. We were opening for Real Estate, um, and it was I had this acid. I was at a Further show the night before, and it was like kind of it didn't I don't know, it didn't really hit hard, and maybe I just whatever. And I took like two tabs, and I had like a few hits left, and our guitar player was like, "Hey man, can I try? Like here, take here. It's pretty weak. Here's two." And I'm like, I had three left, and I was like, you know what? It's pretty weak anyway. Might as well. Took it. Instantly, the other two kicked in, and I was like, oh shit. So I remember playing just like oh my fucking eyes are huge, and just I'm like playing, and I look over because we usually Mike's on the other side, but we put him on this side because we were both tripping, so we could be next to each other. And I'm playing. I look over, and Mike is just like going, bow, 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 like that, and I think we just called Fire on the Mountain just out of a jam, and it kind of. I looked over at him, and he just like had the happiest look on his face while he was playing that guitar. And he was, but it was just awesome. I felt like there was just like we were like had this like really cool like tether, this like weird connection of kind of like light or something while we were playing. It was like really cool,
yeah.
awesome and fun. But yeah, wouldn't I recommend taking 5 hits of acid before playing for like you know 2,000 people, or I don't know about that much. It was like maybe like 1,000. I don't know. It was a fucking. I don't know. It was an auditorium. It just kind of. It could have been 5 people for all I felt like it, but it was cool. Yeah.
So do you have like a favorite venue you've played or?
Um, Capitol Theater was amazing. I really like Higher Ground. It's one of my favorite venues.
I've
Just the
heard
way
great
I don't
things
know
about
what it is
it.
about it. I just love that place. Catering's good. It's a cool spot. Like, even when you can like kind of chill and like overlook the stage, and I like that. The water hole in Saranac Lake, though, I will say is my favorite venue. It's we play there every year for their winter carnival. It's Saranac Lake, maybe like 10 miles from Lake Placid, New York. It's like it's in the middle of the Adirondacks, and
Nice.
that place we rage there. We play. I don't know what it is. We draw really well there. The town are kind of like it's a small kind of town. Like we played like the first winter carnival when that place reopened. and kind of been like synonymous like with or like just as like with that bar. Like, you know, we played the bar owner's wedding this summer. That was cool. Rob Compa was there.
Oh, nice.
That was a sick wedding. I love it up there. But yeah, that place, we've had some incredible turnouts for that, and just like super enthusiastic crowds, and like people losing their goddamn minds. Then like afterwards, just, you know, just partying with these mountain people that are just really fun. And just fucking like. Actually, I learned the true meaning of Eskimo. Not like I didn't, but I learned from a guy like who lives up there the true meaning of Eskimo brother from Saranac Lake.
Oh,
Because
yeah?
it's like cold as shit up there, and like I want to say it was like 3 years ago or something, or 4. I don't know. We were in the afterwards, like hanging out, just like chilling with a guy, talking, and he's like, "Yeah, man, there's a saying around here that I used to hate, but now I get. It's like in Saranac Lake, you don't lose your girl, you just lose your turn." Damn. Well, it's like, no, think about it. It's like a small community. It's like, there's only, let's say, like, in our local scene, there's only about, like, I don't know, 50, let's say, like, there's, like, 100 females that go to the shows, like, at least in their community, that actually live there, that aren't, like, visiting from, like, neighboring, whatever. And that there's only going to be a certain amount that are our age and a certain amount that are attractive. So chances are that if there's an attractive girl in town that you were dating, you know who they are and your buddy knows who they are. And at some point, they're going to cross. So and it's really cold up there. So Eskimo brothers. he was like, I've learned to live with it and accept what it is. I'm like, cool. Cool. Tight, man. Great.
I love interacting with like the locals whenever I go places and just like finding like the most interesting people.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's really a big part of what I love about like touring too. Is like meeting people, meeting these people you would never think could actually exist, and yet here they are in front of you.
At Dead and Company over the summer at the second day of City Field, I was like down like in the lot and everything, and so like my friends gave me the nickname Boot when we were in high school, so I kind of just like usually just go by that because it's easy to remember.
Yeah.
And we start talking to this other guy, and we were just talking to these people, like got some balloons from them, and this guy, this other like big tall like dread-headed guy, they asked me my name, and I was like, oh, I'm Boot. And they all look at the big, tall, like, dreadhead guy. They're like, he's Boot. And I look at him, I'm like, you're Boot? And he looks at me, he's like, I'm Boot. You're Boot? And I was like, yeah, I'm Boot. And he was like, this is incredible. And then he asked me for a cigarette, and I gave him a cigarette. I smoke Southern Cuts, real Southern Cuts. And he sees that. He's like, dude, you smoke the Southern Cuts? And I was like, yeah, why? He's like, so do I. Like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Yeah, man. Do you think there's a third Southern Cut smoking boot out there?
I truly hope
I think there's got, you know what? There's got to be two Boots.
Yeah.
Two Boots just makes sense.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You know, I'm glad you match your pair. You're matching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was one a little bigger, or it was like, you know?
Yeah, he was like almost like a foot taller than me.
What, like we're talking like size 12, 13?
What?
It's like size 12 or 13 boot, would you say? Or?
Probably.
Okay. Yeah. It's a pretty big boot.
It was funny because I was like, damn, if I like suddenly grow, I'm gonna start thinking that that's me in the future. Like if I just out of nowhere grow a foot, I'm gonna be like, oh shit, I met my future self.
But what if he shrinks?
That's true. Maybe he's like Benjamin Buttoning.
He's got that bench. You don't know him. Yeah, you don't know that. You shouldn't assume that he doesn't just because you just met him. Anybody could.
We are friends on Facebook now.
Has he gotten like, you know, younger? Older?
I haven't seen any recent pictures of him yet.
Fair enough. Jury's still out on that one.
Yeah.
Keep me posted on that. Let me know.
Oh, I definitely will. I just
Start looking younger, just let me know.
I'm gonna get worried if he does.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what if I just get to that age to get younger? I don't want to be stuck in like a loop.
Nah.
I want to get to retire. I want to be an old person one day.
Yeah. I think being old is kind of cool. You just don't give a fuck anymore. You're just like, all right, I don't care. Yeah.
Just like, get like the little Walmart scooters and just drink and drive those around a neighborhood and yell at people.
At that point, you deserve to do that. If you've lived to be like 80 and you can still function and get on a Walmart scooter and get drunk and flip off the neighborhood, by God damn it, you should.
Exactly.
You're right. 'Cause I thought this was America. Fuck, man.
So, I had another question. Hold on, let me see. I have like a list of questions I usually ask people. It's in here somewhere.
Can I ask you a question?
Oh yeah, sure.
Can I interview you? Can I? How long have you been? How long have you been podcasting for?
So I started it in like, I think 2020. We got the idea, and then didn't really start it for a while. I was doing it with my buddy Austin, and then we did a few episodes with like no equipment, like literally just filming it on my phone, just like random locations. Doing the editing on my phone. Like my phone was the entire center of the operation. And then he kind of just had to step away for a while just because he's been super busy working and stuff. And told me to just like keep it going if I can, and he'll come back at some point. So then I kind of just like I got like this gimbal for my phone that I use to like make festival videos. So like I'll walk around festivals with that. And then saved up, bought a MacBook and a small interface for when I'm doing like, in-person podcasts. And my buddies at RDI Productions gave me some extra microphones they had laying around, so I used those.
That's sick.
Yeah, so this will be episode 7 so far.
Awesome.
Kind of a long hiatus.
It's a good number. I like 7.
Yeah.
It's always been cool.
Yeah. And yeah, we've got some other ideas I'm working on too. Like we like my buddies like started this production company called RDI, and so they throw a mini festival at one of the guys' houses in our area, South Salem, New York. We call it Fence Post. So
I feel like I've heard it. I feel like maybe it sounds familiar. Rings a bell.
One Time Weekend is usually the headliner.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah. I got you. Yeah.
Like that's how I got to know those guys.
Cool. Yeah, I just did was it the song Circles on
Circles Around the Sun?
Yeah, I just recorded that not too long ago with Monday. That was fun.
Hell yeah. That's one of my favorite of their songs.
Yeah, I haven't heard the recordings, but I keep hearing everyone, like I saw Ian, and Ian's like, yeah, I heard your recording, it sounds great, man, it's almost done. I'm like, cool. Like, Ian's like, yeah, or I'm sorry, oh, Jesus Christ. Hi. What's his name? I'm an idiot right now. Terrible names. Adam 8, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm like literally the worst with names. You have no idea. But Adam would say the same thing. Like, yeah, he sounded great. I'm like, cool. Haven't heard it. I hope I do. So I'm just,
I think they just submitted the album for like mastering or something like that.
Yeah.
I saw Adam posted about it.
Hell yeah. Yeah. I just saw Ian Wednesday night. I saw him. He was saying he actually just he sometimes he'll work door at Arch Street Tavern in Hartford, but he filled in on bass for the pop punk night for the 2000s night, and dude slays. Dude killed it. I love his playing.
Yeah, he's like great to get on. Like I had them on at Fence Post. I did like an interview with them at the festival. And at first, like, him and their manager, Eddie, like, the two of them were the only ones who were there yet when we had time to do the, like, interview. Mm-hmm. So at first, it was, like, just me, Ian, and Eddie. And Eddie I know, like, better than the rest of them because I've just been hanging out with him for a bit now because, like, twiddle and everything. And so, but I really, like, Ian is, like, so funny. He's, like, perfect. And, like, if you ever start a podcast, I highly recommend having Ian on because he's very full of content.
He's definitely, he's a good time. Let's put it that way. Yeah. I've had fun times with Ian.
I remember I was joking around with him at they played Levitt Pavilion, like at one of the free shows they opened for Haley Jane and the Primates. And so since I kind of had to go in that direction anyway, I was heading up to Massachusetts later that night. So I was like, you know what? I was like, I'll just run over there, see One Time. see what I'm gonna do afterwards and figure out like what my plan is. And I'm talking to Ian after the show because they were told they had to. I don't think they had to, but I think they were told to play more of their chiller songs. So I was just like, when he was telling me that, I was like, dude, you guys should have just opened with Omelet.
Yeah, yeah, that's a nice chill song. It's a nice relax. It's like crank up War Pigs or something. I don't know. It's like
They opened with Four Pigs one time when I saw them, like last winter, I think. I don't remember where. I think it was called La Boca, but I don't
oh
remember
yeah,
where.
Middletown.
Yeah,
Middletown.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a cool place. I love that place. I haven't been there in a while. I used to play.
yeah.
Booyah would play there a
I,
bunch actually.
I saw that they had that like it was like a tequila challenge or something where you have to like a certain amount of months or something to try every tequila
Oh,
brand.
it's like what, you have to drink like a fucking bottle of tequila. Tequila challenge. Like
Yeah,
just fucking bottle of tequila.
it's like $20 to enter some shit like that, and like you have to
So you
try.
have to like, try buy like a month or something. You have to try all the
Yeah,
tequila.
I think something like that, and you get like your name in like a little plaque on like this like framed thing they have on the wall with like little name cards on it.
Do you like have to? Do you get like breaks? Do you get unlimited tequila, or you have to like pay for each tequila on top of the $20
I
thing?
I'm not sure. I read the rules, but this is also like a year ago, so
What's
yeah,
like
I
the
could be.
consequence of not doing it? Do you like?
I don't know if there is. They should make you buy everyone in the bar a drink if you don't
Yeah,
finish.
or like drink like whatever the where they pour the shit and like that little overflow thing. Just you have to drink that. There's this bar in Northampton, Mass. The Bella's Bar Talk guys used to. The actually Asher's brother, who used to be in the band like years ago, worked at this bar, and it was like the same idea where like you had to drink one of each beer that they have, and three were like the bartender's picks, and they would make just the worst beers. Like one was called like a cavity, and it was like I want to say it was like a sour beer with like Skittles and just a bunch of like candy in it and shit like that.
Oh
Like
God.
just like the worst shit ever. Like it was like no, it was like a Bud Light, like a flat Bud Light with like
Ooh.
Skittles in it and just like yeah, all the candy. It was called the Cavity, but like there'd be these like punishment beers that they would have to drink too, like on top of that. Which I mean, that really I feel like would be something, you know, because if you're drinking tequila, it's like all right, just trying different tequilas. It's not gonna be
Yeah.
terrible, but you drink a cup of Skittles,
Yeah,
fucking
that sounds
Bud
pretty
Light.
fun.
Sounds
We
awful.
used to I remember we used to play Stack Cup and Slap Cup. You know those drinking games?
And how about slap? I've never heard slap cup before, but
It's the same, pretty much the same as Stack Cup, but instead of stacking, you slap the cup.
oh, okay, okay,
So it's like slightly easier because you don't have to, bounce it into like a foot and a half tall pile of cups. But
right.
we always did the Death Cup in the middle that was like more full than the rest of them, but then also had like two shots of two different liquors in it. Like it'd have like a shot of Patron and then like a shot of like Evan Williams. Like we would try to get like one high end and one low end.
Evan Williams. Ugh, ugh, yeah. I
Sounds like I just brought back some bad memories there.
this you can see that scar right there was college bottle of Evan Williams. I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, broke my arm somehow after a bottle. I don't know what happened, but came to in a hospital.
I had
Yeah,
a
that's
pretty
why I don't
similar.
drink. I don't drink liquor anymore. I stick to beer now. But
I actually had a pretty similar situation like that. I don't know if you can see, but this knuckle is a little fat.
oh
There's
yeah,
scar down the middle.
is
I
that from Evan Williams? Is that a
That's
Evan do that to you?
from Montezuma tequila.
Oh,
Um, I none of it hit me till all of it hit me, and I never once remember being drunk. But I remember doing about 16 to 17 shots in like an hour and 20 minutes, and went from being completely sober to waking up in jail with a broken finger.
ah, fuck. Well, goddamn Montezuma.
Yeah, I've drank it one other time since then, and that was also a truly awful night.
Do go on.
I well, like apparently the reason I woke up in jail the first time was I had failed out of University of Delaware, and I was living down there going to Del Tech so I could go to community college, which was way cheaper, and still get to hang out with my buddy and like hang out and go to his fraternity's parties. And I guess I was so drunk. I was put in an Uber alone without my phone at midnight to go back to my apartment. I was arrested on UD campus at 2 o'clock in the morning. So no one knows what happened between midnight and 2 a.m.
Well, what'd you get arrested for though?
I was trying to break into a building because I thought I lived there, and it was a science lab.
They couldn't prove you didn't.
Yeah. Well, I also like didn't know what year it was, and was like so adamant that it was a dorm building, and the cops were like, "We have to arrest you," and apparently I was just like, "Okay."
They couldn't just like bring you back to your dorm.
I guess not. I think because like I didn't know
Or you're like
anything.
underage. Were you like underage too at the time?
Yeah,
too?
I was 19. So yeah, and I was very visibly intoxicated.
Yeah, yeah, that'll get you.
Yeah. It's funny part is that I didn't the summons that they gave me, or like when they let me out. They actually drove me back to my apartment the next morning while I was still very, very drunk. They let me. I think they didn't even bother.
Podcast, trying to interview me, man. We got to get this kid out of here. Like, so long you been a cop for?
Well, dude, at one point they woke me up because I was just like curled up in a ball on the little tiny bench in the holding cell, and they woke me up to breathalyze me, and I had a vape that was shaped like the same way at the time, and I thought they were letting me get like a little rip of nicotine. So I was inhaling at the breathalyzer, and I just remember the cop being like, just like, "Oh, like my vape's not working," and he was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "You have to exhale into this." I was like, "No, that's not how those. That's not how."
You vape? Do you even vape,
like,
bro? Shit, man. I don't think that cop even vapes.
Oh, definitely.
He doesn't even know, man.
It was one of the little box mods with like, instead of like the build, like the things you could build yourself, I had just like a little shitty little tank that I would rip, and I would put like the most amount of nicotine I could buy into it. And everybody was like, every time I let someone else hit it, they would like get like nauseous, and I was like, "What do you mean this is gross? This is perfect. This is perfect."
I never could. I don't know. I just was never. I've smoked cigarettes, but I never vaped. I don't know. I would try it, and I would just like die, just be like, like that, for example. Like,
yeah.
But like every time, I'm like, "You guys like doing this? Like, fuck that! I'm gonna smoke cigarettes still." And then that didn't happen anymore. But yeah,
I never liked the giant ones that like blew those like crazy clouds, because I feel like I would just like choke on how much was coming out of me, like when I would exhale.
Yeah,
because I got into the e-cigs like in high school, so it was a way to like get nicotine while not letting my parents find out that I was addicted.
I feel like kids these days is like we have kids vaping, and we've caught kids vaping, and it's just like, how stupid can you be? You know how easy it is to get away with this, and yet you're still getting caught. Like when I was your age, dude, I would have to go across a street, like fucking spray cologne when I came back in. You can just do your little puff thing and go puff puff and still get caught. You get caught, you deserve that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like,
I mean,
I don't understand how they're getting caught in school if I'm not getting caught hitting them on airplanes. Like,
yeah, I remember like when the first like e-cigarette came out, I actually got one. And it was like it was the first time I'd even seen it. It was like it looked like a cigarette. It was like,
oh yeah, I had one of those.
Cigarette. And I would bring them in class, and it was before people like knew what to do. I'm just like, it's not a cigarette. I just like, okay. So like for the first like few weeks, kids would have them in class and it would be vaping, and then they put the no vaping rule in like a few weeks. It was like, it's like when, remember like Four Locos were like the original like the original recipe.
I never got to try those. I was a little too young.
Oh, okay. This was how old are you?
I'm 25.
Oh, okay. I'm like 32. So I remember like this was like when Jersey Shore was a thing, like when Jersey Shore was popular in culture, and I like I would drink. I would be in the city, and like you would drink a few of them. I had 4 one time. That was not. I would not recommend that. But like you can be like fucked up and drunk, and yet you're still full of energy, and could like my buddy would like climb up a telephone pole like hammered drunk. It's like zombies that like got hit with like, I don't know, like speed or something. It's like
yeah.
the fucking
apparently, apparently you can find the original recipe online. You just have to like look really hard. It's like I heard it's like somewhere on Reddit or
What is
something.
it, like meth and fucking grain alcohol?
Probably it's just like a hint of like flavoring, and then just like moonshine and meth.
Yeah. Oh God,
Yeah.
those things give like literally the worst hangovers. That like
Oh yeah.
I always say like, red wine hangovers have been the worst things I've ever had, but I mean, thank God they yeah, I don't know. Maybe they shouldn't have, but no, they definitely should have changed that. They did. I mean, yeah, hearts would explode if that shit were still around.
Yeah. There was weren't a lot of people dying from them.
I don't know if there were. I don't know if people died. I'm sure. I guarantee somebody died from Four Loko.
Oh yeah.
It definitely, that shit was so bad. Like, oh, God damn it.
We used to do these things called sidewalk slammers, where you would drink enough. You would get a 40 and a Four Loco. You drink enough of the 40 so that you could fill it up with Four
Oh, like you
Loco.
brass monkey it.
Is that what?
Well,
Have you?
brass monkey. I'm actually allergic to oranges, but like my roommates do brass monkeys where you like have a 40 with orange juice.
Mm.
But this just seems way more toxic.
Yeah, it's called a sidewalk slammer because you're very likely to smack your head against the sidewalk.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah,
Concussions, right?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. We were on that craze for a little bit, like 2016, and then like eventually we were all just like, both of these are gross. Like to mix two gross things together, like it's just making it worse.
Uh, I went to further. I want to say it was Coney Island yeah, and I had a couple Four Locos, and that was an interesting show. That was like it's like wired up. I don't know if they even sold them there, but I remember just like being like amped up, but like still very sloppily drunk the whole time.
Yeah,
It was great.
we got on, me and a couple of my friends, like from home, like once I moved back home from Delaware, like we started drinking uh, vodka Red Bulls at one point, and it started as like it was a good thing to have a few at a concert, so that you could you could be a little drunk, but like you're not getting tired, so like you're not like really missing too
Yeah.
much of the show. And then it became just like, oh, like we want to drink all night, so let's drink vodka Red Bulls, but like halfway through our drinking. And then like after a while, I was just like, I just mostly stopped drinking caffeine a few years ago. Like I drink tea like maybe every other day. Like I don't drink it every day anymore either. Just because like I took Adderall for most of my life because I was prescribed, and then I would like mix that with like espresso when I was working at this Italian restaurant that gave me
Wow.
free espresso all day. And so like after a while, I was just like, none of this can be healthy. Like I just decided to stop. But like,
Slow it down.
yeah, now like I'll drink coffee sometimes if it's got scotch in it and I'm tired, but also want to keep drinking.
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't drink liquor, but drink the fuck out of coffee. Love
Oh
coffee.
yeah.
If I'm especially when I'm teaching in the morning, you need it.
Oh yeah. Like
Like I was,
I
I got
I
the
actually
wood flu from the Disco Biscuits and like couldn't. I was like drinking tea for a while and just like being like going to work and just like, the hell is this? Like, where's my coffee? Like I can't. There's no way I can drink this coffee. I'm gonna die if I do. But tea. Ugh.
yeah. The thing is, I like tea, but like
I like
it's just
tea,
like
but it's not waking me up. I like
yeah.
tea like at the end of the night when I'm chilling, when it's time to go to bed, or you're kind of hanging out, like the day off. It's not giving me the shakes that I need.
Yeah.
Not tweaking.
I so I hadn't had coffee since uh April 2nd probably because the only reason I remember the date because it was for I'd gone to see Twiddle in New Hampshire, didn't go to sleep, drank a cup of coffee the next morning, like an iced coffee, on my way to New Haven to go see Twiddle again, and then before the show because I was so shot, I drank a disgusting cup of hotel room coffee, which just
Oh,
made me
don't do that.
sick.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I
Don't.
just felt sick the whole
That's
show.
Heartburn City. Yeah.
Yeah, but on the way to work a few weeks ago, me and my coworker stopped. Someone had gifted us a Dunkin' Donuts gift card as like a tip or something, So we stopped at Dunkin' on our way to this job, and I meant to order a large iced tea, but because I don't really go to Dunkin' ever anymore, and I used to always order a large iced coffee, black, I ordered that, like, out of reflex. Didn't realize I had ordered coffee, and, like, after, like, I got it, like, the lady handed it to me, I looked at my coworker, I was like, did I order coffee? And he just, like, smiles and nods. He's like, you did. And I was just like, dude, I haven't had coffee since April. And he was like, I know. I'm excited to see what happens.
He's like, I threw an espresso shot in there too, man. You're fucked.
All right, so I think that's all the time we got for right now. My girlfriend's gonna be here in a few minutes, so.
Gotcha.
But this is great. I'd love to have you back on again one day.
Yeah, man. Let me know anytime.
Yeah, I'll stay in touch.
Sounds good.